Tomorrow's cities today. That was the theme of this exhibition, which has just opened in Ukrainian capital Kyiv. It presents a plethora of visual media to aid us in our imagining of the urban spaces of the future. It argues that representations of cities which appear in society, for example in films or books, have a major impact on the way we think about how our cities should look and feel. One of the curators of the exhibition is Professor Nick Dunn from Britain's Lancaster University.
What we're trying to do with this exhibition is really understand over sort of the last 115 years whether there are any key patterns or trends in how people have imagined the future. It's tempting sometimes to look at things like sci-fi and sort of very imaginative drawings as not having any real currency, having any really sort of useful sort of purpose beyond perhaps being a piece of fiction. But actually, they're highly influential because they contribute to what's known as our social imaginary, a sort of the part of society that makes us think and dream. And so that's why an exhibition like this is really important.
An exhibition like this on imagining the future could be exactly what Ukraine needs at the present moment. In the wake of last year's pro-EU revolution, the country is striving to build a new identity and throw off the shadows of its Soviet past. But with a Russian-backed insurgency in its eastern regions showing little signs of ending, exactly where Ukraine might be in 5 or 10 years' time is difficult to say. Rick Robotham is an architect who knows more about that than most. He's part of an international team currently doing work in Mariupol, a city in East Ukraine which was last year liberated from the Russian-backed insurgents. His project falls under the umbrella of Izolatsiya, the cultural foundation hosting the Future Cities exhibition. He says that inasmuch as Ukraine might now want to push ahead into a bright future, it must be careful not to forget everything that came before, no matter how difficult that may be.
Part of the realization of future plans is to acknowledge the history and the heritage. That's vitally important, and particularly if you want to diversify, for example, into tourism. You know, tourists come, they want to know, they want to learn the story of the place. People also want to be part of that story. If you take the story away from people, it's a very benign and colorless environment. So it's not a blank canvas. It's a canvas that acknowledges the past, but it's looking to the future.
Ukraine may do well to keep those words in mind, though its past is unlikely to stop being a source of controversy and debate anytime soon. Just like this exhibition, the country is keeping its sights firmly set on the future and the promise of better times ahead. Reporting for Ukraine Today, this is Rahim Rahimtullah in Kyiv.